All right, welcome in. It is Wednesday. It is time for Total Bases. I hope this is working because like 2 minutes before I got on air, I straight up dropped my computer on the hardwood floor. So again, I think we're coming in right now. So of course we run this. We've all got our computer kind of docked. We've got the camera and the lights, and my whole setup just went right on the floor. So again, I think it's working. I can see you guys. Hopefully, you can hear me. It's Wednesday. We've got a full slate of ball. We've got day games. We got games tonight. 14 games randomly. The Twins and the Rangers have a day off in the middle of their series. Not sure what that is for, but that was an interesting sort of wrinkle in the schedule today. So 14 games and a game that was suspended last night that's going to resume play today in the Giants Braves. So just another interesting day of baseball. For me, 1-2 last night, 2 losing days to start the week, and I ruined the parlay with the Marlins. The other 2 guys you see on your screen here won their parlay legs. So I got to get things turned around. Bryan Leonard, how was your night last night? Great call with that under in the Mariners game.
Thank you. Yeah, that one worked out well. We've now, we had that one game the day before in which Detroit changed the pitchers. So that win isn't there because I always list, well, I don't always, but 90% of the time I list my pitchers. So we've now won 7 straight games, and I looked on the sheet today, and I guess I'm number 1 overall on the entire site for the last 3 days. Let's keep that going. It's been a really good run for a long time, but yeah, a lot of other guys have been hot too, so I haven't been able to crack it to number 1. But if you're looking for the number 1 guy the last 3 days, that's me at 7-0. Yeah, we had the Seattle game under yesterday, and that was never in doubt. In fact, I think all of our plays during this run have been multi-run winners, so working out very well. I believe you wanted to talk about the White Sox and the Yankees, so we'll get into that. A couple of lefties going today. K against Rodon. Rodon's about a 180 favorite or so right now, with a total of 8.5. I do like the Yankees in this game, but I don't want to lay that type of number. Rodon's pitching very well, and K, after a couple of questionable starts, has come back and is pitching very well. So like that. The Yankees traditionally have done very well at home against this division. So that's always something to look at. But, you know, they're still without their best player. Best hitter, one of the best hitters in baseball, if not the best. So don't know if I can lay it here. The White Sox, we've made a lot of good. The thing is, we've made a lot of good money on teams like the White Sox and the Cardinals right now, but I'm just not seeing quite the numbers I'm looking for to continue to back them. So at this point, and it's early, it's 6 a.m., as I always say, out here in Vegas, and we do have some day baseball today. Is a change from the last couple of days. So, yeah, out of this game, this is a game that's going to be on the evening card. And at this point, unless I can see a 170 out there with the Yankees, I might use it as a small play. But other than that, I'm probably passing this one.
All right, let's get Tokyo Brandon in here. Tokyo Brandon, how was your Tuesday? And then talk to me about Yankees White Sox.
Yeah, my only play is the one that got held over. So we'll see how that turns out. And I went 2-1 in the KBO tonight, or this morning, I guess, according to you guys. Tonight for me, lost the 4%, won a 3%, and won a 2%. So kind of broke even, I guess. So yeah, not too bad. Let's get to today's slate. The Yankees and the White Sox. Pretty much crushed them yesterday. Yankees, really good home team. I mean, they're 20-12 at home. White Sox are 14-21 away. K's never, I mean, he was pretty good here in Japan. He had Trevor Bauer kind of coaching him with the Bay Stars. And now Trevor Bauer's in New York, and K is pitching for the White Sox. Doing okay. I mean, he gave up 2 in his last start to the Dodgers, which is a respectable start. It's a quality. Well, I don't know if it's a quality start if it's 5 innings, but before that, he got bombed by Philadelphia. If you look at the starts before that, though, he gave up 1, 1, 1, 2, and 0, 2. In that 6-start stretch, he pitched 5 innings or more in every single start. So He was having a lot of quality, and now he's dropping off a little. Rodon's a guy I never really liked to back, but this season he's kind of changing my mind. If you look at my Twitter X, Tokyo Underbar Brandon, I put my pitcher matchup rankings, and he ranks number 1. Let's see. Not number 1, sorry. He ranks number 3. He's got a 523 OPS against these batters. So I don't know, maybe an under here. If K can hold the Yankee bats down, I certainly think Rodon can hold the White Sox bats down. The question is, can K hold the Yankee bats down? Who would have expected the Yankees to be exploding for runs like this after Judge goes out, but they are. So, I think maybe an under would be a way to go in this one.
Yeah, TB, that's a really good point. Who would have expected the Yankees to have won 7 of their last 8 with Judge out, given the fact that prior to that stretch, the last 4 years or so without Judge, playing, roughly like 450 baseball. So they were under 500. They're actually, even with the run of the 7-1 run that they're currently on, they are still, I believe, under 500 without Judge since the beginning of 2021. So you could look at that a couple different ways. One, maybe you say, well, this year's team is that much better. Maybe they don't need him to win these games. Or that's a small sample size, and Judge being out over the course of time makes them a lesser team. I gravitate toward option 2. Listen, I don't know. They did that Guardian series. They had the Guardians had them on the ropes a couple times, and there was a game where the Guardians basically had it won. I think the Yankees scored late and then won in extras. They came out the next day, won a 3-2 game. They beat Toronto 3-1 the other day. So, give them credit, give the Yankees credit. They're winning close games, but some of these games could have gone the other way. I was surprised last night that the White Sox got destroyed. I'll give them a pass. The White Sox, listen, this team has been playing great ball. Murakami goes down, and they call up Jacob Gonzalez. They call up Braden Montgomery, and they almost don't miss a beat. Remember, over the weekend, the White Sox took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, and then had to turn around and go to Yankee Stadium. I'm willing to give them a pass for the 12-2 drubbing last night, because the other thing, you can go back a little bit. Prior to that, they were on the road at the Phillies. They then had the Braves at home, and then the Dodgers at home. So, listen, I'll give them a pass. Last night, they get crushed 12-2. They kind of had one of those coming. I like the White Sox here. I still think they're undervalued. They're 38-33. To me, I look at this AL Central. To me, the White Sox have clearly been the best team in this division. I look at some of these other divisions. Aside from the Yankees and the Mariners, I'll even go as far as to say I think the White Sox are a better baseball team than the Rays. I know the Rays got off to that hot start. Give me this sort of young group of White Sox over the Rays from this point forward. That's just how I feel about these two teams. I think the White Sox hang around here. I don't mind Anthony Kay. Rodon is great, but if the White Sox are up there, have patient at bats, he will put some guys on. And TB, you said, Rodon versus these hitters. How much exposure could Rodon have had against these hitters? Half of them were at Charlotte last year, so it's got to be a small sample size. So I'll take my chances here. There might be a couple. Yeah, it's more than I thought. Maybe he had a couple starts against the White Sox last year. It's a good point. I didn't expect because Jacob Gonzalez just gets up, Montgomery just gets up. How many at bats could Colson Montgomery have against Rodon? I was actually not expecting it to be that high. I'll take the 1.5.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
It's Grichuk and Benintendi are the majority of that.
Two guys I could care less about, if I'm being honest. When I evaluate the White Sox, when I evaluate the upside of this White Sox team, those two guys do not come to mind. They're afterthoughts for me. It's nice that Benintendi's still kicking and stuff, and he definitely helps. But when I look at this White Sox team and their upside and the sort of where I think the market is off, I just don't think the market and the odds makers have given the White Sox credit for how good some of these young players are that have made their way up through the system. And so I'm still high on the White Sox, especially if they're playing a team where we're going to be able to get some value on the White Sox. That's been the problem. The market caught up a little bit to the Sox, and suddenly we didn't have the value. Well, when they're playing the Yankees, you're going to get the value. I like the White Sox plus the run and a half here. Right now, it's minus 130. That is on my list for potential client plays today. I was hoping to get, Bryan Leonard, some of that Yankee steam that likes to come in throughout the day. Give me like 10 more cents there. Might be a client play, but certainly one I'm looking at today. White Sox plus 1.5. I think they're a good baseball team. They've scrapped with the best teams in the league over the last couple of weeks and beat them. Beat the Braves twice, 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. No reason that they can't be competitive in this series with the Yankees, so I like them here. Double play. Brian just told you he's number 1 on the site. What was it? Last 30 days? You jump the number 1 leaderboard for the last 30?
No, just the last 3, 7 and 0. But I've had a lot of winners, but I usually give out smaller plays, 1.5 unit plays. So when other guys are giving out 4s and 5s, it's tougher for me to do it. But I'm a pretty conservative guy. I may have a 5% today. There's a game I have circled. We'll have to see how the line moves on it, but there's a possibility I may have a 5 today. So just keep in mind, I'll be putting my plays up after the show today. So check back if you're looking for a 5 or a bigger play. But it's been running pretty well for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'll be putting plays up as soon as the show's done. I wanted a couple ones like the White Sox is one that I'm considering, and there's a couple that I want to see if they move a little bit more in my favor. So yeah, I'll absolutely have plays out. TV probably already has stuff up. Double play package, 2 of the 3 of us, big discount. Check it out on the page. Tokyo Brandon, let's get you back in here. Omni Syndicate, thank you for the donation. Much appreciated. All the donations go to charity. Greatly appreciated. Helps the show, helps the algorithm. He says, good morning, guys. Can we talk Guardians at Brewers? Gavin Williams and Brandon Sproat on the mound. Do the Guardians bounce back today? And what do you think about Guardians plus money? Tokyo Brandon, kick us off, and then we'll get the resident Guardian guy, Bryan Leonard, in here.
Well, Milwaukee's bats certainly are better than the Guardians in current form. Guardians are not hitting well. Got them ranked 26 out of 30, where I got Milwaukee ranked 6. So that's a big discrepancy. But then the Guardians bullpen kind of makes up for that because they're producing a lot better than Milwaukee's bullpen. So I got the Guardians with a pitching advantage, but Gavin Williams, not real good numbers against these Brewer batters in his career. Only 24 at bats against, but he is giving up a 822 OPS to these batters. I think the Brewers can get to him a little bit. I think I hate to use the word, but I think Williams is a little overrated. I think the books are giving him a little too much credit. Because he was a chronic walker all season last season on my numbers. He seems to have fixed that problem this season. Sproat, he hasn't pitched very well. Looking at his last few starts, he did actually pitch well against the A's. He gave up 1 run, and then he gave up 3 before that. Before that, he gave up 5, and then it was a 3-3-3-3-3. So you almost depend on 3 runs given up by him. But I don't know. These Guardians bats kind of ice cold right now. Even when they win, it seems like they're only scoring like 3 runs when they win, it seems. I don't know. Sproat's kind of the wild card here. I don't think Williams is as good as the books like it. So I would take maybe a Milwaukee team total over if you can get a 3.5, or a first 5 over 1.5 for Milwaukee is probably how I would go.
Bryan Leonard, we all know, everyone here knows that baseball is the best sport. That's why you guys come and watch this show every morning. That's why the 3 of us basically devote 6 months of our life to covering this sport. Brandon Sproat has been getting shelled, and then he goes and has his 2 best starts of the year at Coors Field and at Las Vegas Ballpark. That's why baseball is the best right there. You try to explain that, right? Like, guy was getting crushed before playing in those 2 ballparks.
3 runs a game, 3-3-3-3-3 is kind of what his game log looks like. It's not really.
No, he was getting his teeth kicked in for. I mean, he was getting 3 runs a game, but Tokyo Brady wasn't getting out of the 4th inning. So 3 runs a game is not very good if you're only going 3 or 4 innings. And then he turns
Agreed.
around, has a good start at Coors, and has a good start at the launching pad. Brian, you were at that game. So do you think Sproat's starting to turn a corner a little bit, or how do we look at that?
Yeah, I was there, and I was very impressed by the way he was pitching. I didn't think he was going to last more than 3 or 4 innings coming in, and he looked really good. He really did. I can't back this Cleveland team in this situation. If you take a look at the last 7 days over at Roster Resource at Fangraphs, the best guy who will be in the lineup today will be Patrick Bailey. Patrick Bailey, the catcher. Patrick Bailey, who bats 9th in the lineup and is one of the worst hitting catchers in baseball. And Cleveland's got a habit of signing every worst hitting catcher in baseball. It's been since Sandy Alomar and Martinez that they've had good catchers. They can hit. They have nobody that can hit. They do have a guy in the minors who hopefully they give him a chance. But yeah, you take a look at these injuries for Cleveland. And I always said they only had like 3 professional hitters in the lineup. Jose Ramirez, hamate injury. He just had his surgery yesterday. He's going to be out 6-7 weeks, something to that effect. Anel Martinez got hurt yesterday. He had a fracture in his foot. He was having a breakout season this year. I've been following him all season long. He put on some weight for more power. He has probably been their 3rd best hitter on the season. Their 2nd best hitter on the season, Chase DeLauer, who is also injured. He pulled a muscle in his side, and he may be going on the IL. That leaves your batters in this game. Travis Bazzana, I've been impressed by him, but he's a rookie. Brian Rocchio, who has been a journeyman, but he's been very, very lucky with his hits this year. He's not doing well, but if he seems to be hitting with runners in scoring position, that's something that's going to regress. You're just not good at hitting runners in scoring position and hitting terrible without him on. Kyle Manzardo, I like him, but he's very consistent, strikes out too much. Rhys Hoskins is lucky he's still in baseball. Daniel Sheeman is a guy who plays everywhere. That's the only reason he's in the lineup. Stephen Kwan should have been traded in the offseason to the Dodgers, and he's been terrible this year. Gabriel Arias just came back from the AL. He hasn't been good in his time with Cleveland. And Patrick Bailey. That is your starting lineup in this game. We'll probably see, without DeLauer in there, we'll probably see David Fry, another one that, do you really trust him in this game? The Cleveland offense against this Milwaukee pitching staff, there's no way I want them. So I'm either going to play the Cleveland team total under, or I'm going to play Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee bullpen is very good. The Cleveland bullpen is also very good. But Milwaukee can score. Milwaukee is a team that I expect to get at least 4 runs from today, and I can't see Cleveland unless Milwaukee's defense is really bad and they give them some, either some walks or some errors out there. I can't see Cleveland scoring more than 3 runs in this game. The current team total for Cleveland right now is 3.5 over 20. You can get under 3.5 at plus 100. That would be the way that I would approach this. I can't see them scoring 4 runs against Milwaukee in this game.
Brian, I'm with you. I too got to sit in the front row of a minor league baseball stadium numerous times and watch Brandon Sproat pitch. He was a Syracuse Met for a couple of years. Always felt like his stuff had a lot of life. Like I've said this a couple times. I felt like he got lost. He kind of was the odd man out in this like surge of like good pitchers for the Mets. He ends up in Milwaukee. I've had high hopes for him there. He didn't look great out of the gate this year, but the last 2 starts, he started to throw the ball well. I don't really want to go against him. I start to follow teams and guys at the AA level because, of course, as someone that bets a lot of AAA, you kind of need to know who the guys are at AA that are coming into AAA. Somehow this one escaped me until the other day. I did not realize Jackson Chourio had a brother named Jason Chourio in the Guardians organization that's hitting. He has a 961 OPS at Akron right now. Maybe we should get him up at this point because, I don't know what we're waiting for right now. Guy's got like 170 at-bats at Akron this year as a 961 OPS. That was very interesting. Of course, his brother is a very good major leaguer at this point. I just thought that was interesting. I don't know how I didn't realize that till the other day. He's currently an Akron Rubber Duck for those following at home. But back to this game, I'm with you. I could only bet the Brewers. The Brewers are the better of these two teams here by a wide margin. And I think if Sproat can kind of hang in this game, then the Brewers have a bullpen edge at the end of the game. And of course, the better of the two lineups. So it's Brewers or pass for me. All right, let's keep it rolling. Let's go back to the chat here. Gonna grab one here at random.
Some people are asking for athletics. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we can talk about that game. I actually have a pretty good opinion on that game. So let's do that. Let's go to Sacramento, where the A's home is for this week. We don't know where their home's going to be for next week or the week after, but this week they are back at Sutter Health Park. The rubber match of a 3-game set so far. The Pirates bounce back and get the win last night. TB, why don't you kick us off? Braxton Ashcraft, Aaron Savali, A's, Pirates. How you seeing this one?
Yeah, guys, grab a double play. 2 of your 3 favorite guys here for 3 days. Huge discount. Brian's on a 7-0 run. Adam was in the number 1 top last 30. I was in the number 1 last 30. So we're all great cappers. And there's a lot to like on the card today. In my opinion, there's a lot to like. So grab a double play. If you only like one of us, you can get any WagerTalk capper 3 days, 30% off. It's called triple play. So grab that as well.
I'm still number 1 the last 30, although I better win today because Las Vegas Chris is right on my tail. I just saw. Yeah.
Oh, you can see who ranks where, huh? I can
on the site. Yeah, the leaderboard. No, the leaderboard on the website. So if you go to WagerTalk, just the main page, you can see the top
1, 2, 3. Yeah. You're right. 1, 2, 3 is up there. So yeah, Ashcraft's having an amazing season here. Thing is, Pittsburgh bats, I have them ranked below average, and I got their bullpen ranked 28 out of 30. It's really hard to win games if that's the case. So A's have huge advantage with the bullpen and with the hitting. I got the A's ranked number 2 in current form in hitting. But we go to the pitching, and Ashcraft has been amazing, and his command and control amazing. Generally, I like to use a walk rate, how many walks he's issuing compared to how many guys he's striking out. 30 to 40% is generally considered okay, acceptable in my opinion. And his walk rate is 17. So great command. I think the A's are going to have difficulty hitting him. And looking at his stats, there's nothing really to measure his stats against the A's batters, but I think they're going to have trouble hitting him. Whenever you get the elite pitcher going against the good lineup, usually, not always, but usually pitching wins. From my experience as a scout and just watching games for 30 years, 35 years, pitching usually wins that matchup when you have elite batting and elite pitching, generally speaking. So I think he'll quiet the bats down. The question is Savali against the Pirates. The Pirates are in a little bit of a funk here. If we look at Savali's last couple starts, he absolutely shelled. 7 runs against Seattle, 5 runs against LA. He's not in a good spot here. So that would lead me to say, I think Pittsburgh, but man, you can't take them with that bullpen in full game, in my opinion. Their bullpen is just atrocious right now. So if I were to bet this game, I'd probably take Pittsburgh in the first 5.
I mean, Pirates bullpen's not worse than the A's. They might be bad. They're not worth the A's. That A's bullpen's as bad as it gets. That A's bullpen is as bad as it gets. Last night they blew another one. The guy that I think should be the best pitcher down there blows it last night. I don't know how does Alvarado give up runs? Guy throws 101 with movement, and yet has a 5.63 ERA. I'm not disagreeing with you, TB. The Pirates, as a team right now, like I'm kind of half in, half out on them, but the A's, their bullpen sucks. It's just awful. It's terrible bullpen. Brian, I'm leaning toward TB, but I'm actually leaning the full game here with the Pirates. How are you seeing Pirates A's?
Problem with the Pirates is they're missing their two best hitters, Connor Griffin and O'Neill Cruz. They're both injured. They're on the IL. And that means you get some at bats out of guys that I really don't think are very good. Eddie Rodriguez. I like Jake Mangum, but he gives you no power. He's a great defensive player, and I like his speed. Jared Trillo is in lineup each and every day. He should be a bench player. The thing is with Pittsburgh is they've got some pretty good, decent hitters on the team, but they lack the power. Horowitz is a first baseman who doesn't hit for power. Gonzalez is playing third base. He doesn't hit for power. These are guys that I like. They get on base. Bryan Reynolds has made a career out of it. If he hits for 20 home runs, that's a pretty good season for him. But other than Brandon Lowe, or Brandon Lowe, maybe I always get them confused with how they pronounce the last name. But they just don't have enough power, and they're playing in a ballpark that is a good hitter's ballpark. And they're going against the pitcher in Savali, who I don't think much of. But I am worried about the Pittsburgh offense. That said, have you looked and seen how many runs support that Braxton Ashcraft gets? He's the opposite of Paul Skeens. All of his games seem to go over. And it's not because of him, because he's pitched great. They score when he is on the mound. So it's too many variables for me here. The total is 10. If I'm playing it, I'm playing the over, which I never thought I would see with Ashcraft on the mound. But Pittsburgh can nickel and dime them, get those singles and doubles over there, and we all know that the Athletics have a lot of power. So the line is 10, and I really thought it was going to come in about 9.5 because of Ashcraft being on the mound. But no, they're making you pay it, and I think they're right. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Well, Brian, if you think the Pirates can score some runs, that makes me feel good about where I want to go with this game. I like the Pirates. I think Ashcraft is elite. I know he hasn't been great the last two times out. Wasn't terrible against the Marlins, but couldn't get deep into that game. That was my concern, right? Looking at the Pirates lineup yesterday, I was like, man, that is an Indianapolis Indians lineup if I've ever seen one, right? Like just, especially once you get outside of like Horowitz, Lau, Reynolds, maybe O'Hearn, looks very triple A-esque. You talked about Triolo. They had a better option, and he's in the A's dugout now. I don't know why I don't know why they're so committed to Triolo. They let Alika Williams go. Alika Williams just played great for the A's all week last week. Did. So again, but Aaron Savali is a guy that I think just about anyone can score off of. Pretty much a bottom 10% starter across like every metric right now in Major League Baseball. Listen, if like this is kind of a spot where I think Ashcraft can just put the team on his back a little bit. If Ashcraft goes out, has a quality start, which up until the last two times out, he did pretty much every single time he stepped on the mound this year. It's hard to believe that the Pirates are not in position to win this game. Maybe you don't trust the Pirates bullpen, but do you trust the A's bullpen? Much worse, in my opinion. So yeah, this will be my parlay leg. I am going to take the Pirates. Brian, what are we looking at for a price here?
About 116, I would say.
Yeah, and that's one that's going to get some consideration for me from the client card. I'm very high on Ashcraft, and I think that this is a good spot for him to bounce back and put his team in a position to win the game. Okay, we're going to go to this one. That basically the chat. Well, actually, no, we're not going to go. We may go to that one, but I got to prioritize the comments that are coming in with a donation. So Omni, I'm going to go to this one. He says, can we talk Tigers Astros? Mize and Lambert on the bump. He likes under 8.5. Brian, I'll come back to you. Mize and Lambert on the bump. Tigers Astros. You had a total winner in this series earlier this week. Do you agree or disagree with the under here?
Yeah, it's sitting around 8.5 out there. There's a couple 8s, but if you can get 8.5 here, I wouldn't have an argument with there. I turned into Casey Mize fan the last couple of years. I didn't think much of him early in his career and thought Detroit was wasting a lot of their prime time trying to build him up. But no, it's once again the baseball teams know more than I do. Who would have ever thought that? For those guys who think they could coach Major League Baseball or whatever. But yeah, Casey Mize has been very good. Lambert, hey, we used Lambert the other day, I believe. Tokyo Brandon and I talked him up a little bit, so we do like him a little bit. And the total is 8.5. It's basically a pick'em situation, and I somewhat like Detroit also. Houston's lineup, if you take a look at like AAA lineups, they are very similar where they've got 4 maybe decent bats and Major League bats in that lineup, and you just got to pitch around them. And I think Casey Mize has enough different pitches and he keeps people off balance. I think he's going to have success here. So, yeah, if you're lucky to play Detroit or the under in this game, I wouldn't disparage you from that. I think that's probably the way to go in this one.
TB, Astros, Tigers to you.
Guys, get a double play. 2 of your 3 favorite handicappers. 3 days, huge discount. And we all know baseball pretty well. I love Casey Mize this season. I'm kind of like Bryan. It took me a while. He grew on me, but man, you look at how he's pitching this season. Just look at his last few starts. Earned runs 0, 2, 0, 2, 1, 0, 1. I mean, could you ask for more than that? On the other hand, Lambert's been good. He had a rough patch, but man, hard to find a game where he gives up more than 3 runs either. Looking at how the teams rank against each other. Well, digging deeper into the pitching matchups, though, Casey Mize definitely has his walks much more under control than Lambert. Lambert's walking 50% of the guys that he's striking out, while Mize is walking only 17% of the guys he's striking out. Tigers with the hitting advantage. Bullpen's pretty equal. So I think eventually the stronger bats are going to win out. So I would either take the Tigers here, or I would take an Astros team total under in the first 5 or full game, because Mize is just pitching lights out. Those are the 2 ways I would go with this one. Haven't done it yet, but seriously considering it.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to bet something in the trying to lock something in for clients before it moved, or just, I wanted to make sure I got a certain number. So we did that. The other thing I have to listen, I don't know if we'll get to the game. People just wanted me to come on here and talk about what a bad call the Marlins was yesterday. I got it. Listen, they were dead. They were dead on arrival the last 2 days. That was just a bad call. I will say this though. I'm just gonna throw this back out there. That does not change my opinion about them making the playoffs at plus 950, which is what I saw. That whoever brought that up in the chat yesterday at FanDuel, it is like plus 950. That's still a good bet. I know they got crushed the last 2 days. I still like that Marlins bet. But if you wanted me to come on here and be like, yeah, that was a terrible pick, there you go. It was a terrible pick. Hopefully we'll do better today. As far as this game is concerned, I don't have a ton to add here, so I'll probably just move it along. I too, like Bryan, have sort of come around to Casey Mize, and I'm just going to go back to sort of what I've had to say about the Tigers in general the last couple weeks. Like, they're a team that when they got healthy, I wanted to bet on. I wanted to look to back, and with now I'm kind of in the Gleyber maybe tweak something, gets hurt. They came out. That was great insight yesterday from Bryan. He pointed out, hey, Gleyber tweaked something on his swing. He's probably not going to be in the lineup. Gleyber wasn't in the lineup, and the Tigers scored 2 runs. I guess I don't really know what to do with this team anymore. I don't hate the look at the under, especially if Torres is out again, which he probably is. And I don't mind the 2 pitchers, but yeah, I just don't have a ton to add here. Bryan, I'll let you close this one down and we'll find a different game.
Yeah, they haven't put Torres on the IL yet. They're trying to figure out what's going on. I really can't see him playing today. But also, he and Colt Keith were the 2 hottest hitters in that lineup all week long, by far the 2 hottest hitters. And Colt Keith got hurt yesterday. So there's a very good possibility the only 2 hot guys in the Detroit lineup will not be playing today, which gives you more reason to look for the under, I think, in this one.
Yeah, that's a good point, and we'll leave that one there. Let's go back to actually, let's go. I'll go right back to you, Brian. Do you have an idea of what game you want to look at for the parlay piece?
I do, and based on your last reaction, it's probably not going to be popular, but I like Miami in this game.
So do I. So do I.
Alcantara is on the mound against Painter. I think Painter is one of the most overpriced starters in Major League Baseball. He's gotten a lot of hype as a minor leaguer, but he hasn't really been able to turn it into a success at the Major League level. And Miami, not only do they have their most consistent starter, not their most consistent, as Meyer's been fantastic all season, but he's been very good. Alcantara's had a nice bounce back season here, coming back from the injuries. So I like him here. And if you take a look at Miami, this has been a team that has been able to bounce back, and they're really good on not being swept in a series. I think they're like something like 23-2 when they're avoiding a sweep in a series, just something outrageous. There's got to be something in there for that. Teams that are able to do that are teams that I want to play because they seem to have more heart. They're not going to lay down against the Phillies, and the Phillies have dominated them the first 2 days, no doubt about it. But you liked Miami in the first 2 games. I think, how often do we get a team that we are a day or two early on? I think this is the situation here. I like Miami, and you're getting them as a slight underdog price. It's close to a pick 'em, but you're not getting a lot of plus money on them. But, I see some plus 100s out there. But Miami's the side in this one for me. I just like the bounce back ability of this team, and I think they have a big advantage in the starting pitcher, and their bullpen has been much better than their starters all season long. So it's Miami for me in this one. And sometimes you got to hold your nose, but those are usually the ones that are the better plays. If you just add them up at the end of the season, the ugly dogs that nobody wants, those are always pretty good money makers for me.
Yeah, I still like it. Listen, it's a different handicap than the last 2 days. So, of course, the last 2 days, you had the Phillies who had, an elite pitcher on the mound. No argument that Wheeler is elite. Luzardo, when he's on, is elite, right? Like when he's on, he's very good. But you were taking, you had the Marlins, and like for me, I was taking a position on getting the 1.5, that it would be a competitive game. It wasn't a competitive game. Was wrong about that. This is a little bit different because, like, now, Tokyo Brandon, I think you could make the argument that the Marlins have the better starter here, right? In Alcantara. Painter, I don't mind Painter in terms of, like, he's a guy that I do think maybe finds his way at some point, but we haven't seen it yet. So this is the first time of the series where the Marlins have the upper hand in the pitching department. Can they go out and execute? They've been awful with runners in scoring position. Does that change against an easier pitcher? Those are all questions we need answered. Help us out, TB.
Yeah, the way I break this one down, look, Miami's hitting better than the Phillies in current form, despite losing the first 2 games. Really hard to sweep a team. 3 games. Generally, it's just ebbs and flows of baseball. Teams kind of let up when they've already won the series. And I think the Phillies will do that. The one advantage, like looking at my numbers across the board, I have Miami ranked higher than Philadelphia in almost every category, which is strange. I didn't expect that. But Philly's bullpen is outperforming them by about 3 points, according to my rankings. But Alcantara is a guy who can go pretty deep into games. So I don't think bullpen deficiency will be too much of an issue here. It'd be Miami or nothing for me. Don't know if I'll do it or not, but yeah, like Brian said, they just got too much. Did you say it, Adam? This team is very scrappy with a lot of heart, and they're very talented too. So, well, I think they'll salvage one game here.
Yeah, I mean, and like, listen, I guess you give credit where credit is due. The Phillies have shown up as the World Series Phillies the last 2 days. Like, I didn't really see that coming. The team that the Phillies, a couple of years ago was one of the best teams in the National League. That's the Phillies that have shown up the last 2 days. Alec Bohm, where did he come from, right? He's having a terrible season. He comes out and has a good game. Trey Turner likely still out, right, Brian? He's probably still out. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess they're hot, and maybe, I mean, if they show up and just crush Sandy, then they're going to win again. I don't know if that's, listen, Alcantara is not the same guy he was in 2021, but this is a step up pitching wise from Tyler Phillips and Ryan Gusto, especially the last 2 days when neither had even close to their best stuff. Like, you could even tell Tyler Phillips was like, just leave me out here and let me take one for the team so I can save the bullpen. Like, if you watched the Marlins broadcast last night, you could see him telling his coach, like, I got more in the tank. I want to save the guys for tomorrow. Like, he just didn't have it yesterday. Tough to judge the Marlins on how those last 2 games have went, in my opinion. Like, one for like 18 with runners in scoring position. Phillies came out and hit the ball. I'm with you, Brian. I don't know if I want to piss my clients off like that yet, but I'm thinking about it. Because I do think that the Marlins are the better side. That makes the most sense in this spot, given what's happened to this point and the price, which is all that matters. Listen, what happened yesterday does not matter. The only thing, the result of yesterday's game is done. I already said, went 1-2 yesterday. That is done. All we care about is today's game. This game, how this game plays out. I'm with you, Brian. I think the Marlins make sense. What is the price on that game?
Yeah, you're getting up minus 103, something to that. And this will not be my 5%. I'm just letting people know. But I've seen enough baseball in 45 years to know when a team is fat and sassy, as Marco would say, and I would have to say that Philadelphia is pretty proud of themselves at this point.
All right, let's get Tokyo Brandon back in here. First of all, Freebird, much appreciated. Comes awesome through, and he just wants to drop a comment and says Casey Mize is good. Guy usually only gives up 2 runs. Watched him at Auburn. So shout out Auburn. Shout out Drew Martin Betts, our resident Auburn grad. I'm sure he's all over that too. He's always tuned in to what's going on down there. And yeah, we have 2 of the 3 legs locked in, Tokyo Brandon. So the floor is yours. What game are we looking at to close this out?
Actually, it's going to be the Tigers game. Sorry, it's a game we already.
No, that's
covered,
all right. Let's go back there. We'll squeeze another one in at the end. Tell us what you're looking at in the Tigers.
Okay, so I'll make it very quick. Given Brian's mentioning of Tigers being a little depleted, the fact that Casey Mize is on absolute fire, I think the first 4.5 is a little too high. So I think the under 4.5, and I'm seeing it anywhere from minus 115 to minus 117. So I think that's a good play. I'll take that as my parlay leg.
Yeah, can't argue. Again, Tigers weren't hitting at all before a couple guys came back, and now they lose a couple guys. I think it's reasonable to say that the Tigers might struggle to hit again. So let's go back to the chat here. Grab one more from the chat. Everyone wanted me to come on here and basically talk about what a trash pick the Marlins was the last 2 days, and I basically ended up co-signing Brian's Marlins pick. So sorry, I guess apologize in advance, but I do think we're going to win today. So it is what it is. Someone says, F him, Trig, play the Marlins. Yeah, Mark Lambert, let's go. That's the attitude that I like right there. All right, let's go. Okay, I'm sure I'm sure there's folks that want me to come on and address this one. So let's go here. Mark Lambert says, I like San Diego to get it done on a bullpen day, only plus 110. Yeah, I had to explain myself yesterday in the chat. I don't dislike the St. Louis Cardinals, okay? This is one thing you have to understand. I am not a fan of any of these teams. I could care less who wins and who loses. I just like betting baseball. I like to try to find value. I do not care about any team. That's one of the beauty of living in upstate New York. We really don't have a team here. We don't have a big league team. You can root for the Mets. You can root for the Yankees. I had a bunch of buddies that were Red Sox fans growing up. A lot of guys. I had a handful of friends that used to root for the Expos because it was easy for us to get from Albany to Montreal. That was an easy trip when I was a kid. So I don't care. All I'm saying is the Cardinals are a little overvalued right now. They're starting to be favored every day. And I think if they hang out, Brian, if they hang out 8 games over 500, what does that mean? They might finish the year 85 and 77. like, wouldn't that be an incredible year for this team? Do we see it getting better than that is, I guess, what I'm saying. And if it doesn't, that means they played like 500 ball the rest of the way. So again, even with the win last night, I'm still inclined to go against them. Mark, I agree with you. I see value on the Padres. Brian, talk to us, Padres Cardinals.
Yeah, I was more of a math major than an English major, but when you say I could care less, that means you can actually care less. The correct
Yeah. I switched my major. I was an English major, and I switched probably for things like that. Yeah.
This is how our language has progressed, though.
Yeah. Considering half the texts I get, I can't understand what the hell they're saying. It's my fault for being older. But yeah, Leahy on the mound. He's about a 130, 125 favorite here. Total of 10.5 to San Diego, and that's a high. That is a very high total in a game played in St. Louis, which tends to be more of a pitcher's ballpark. Leahy's a guy that I like. He doesn't blow you away. He's not a big strikeout guy, but and then San Diego using the bullpen. I don't care. San Diego's got a great bullpen. I don't care who they use in the bullpen. Is this line really going to be 10.5? I don't understand it. I will let me get a quick look at the wins here. St. Louis,
local weather.
Nothing. The wind's blowing out pretty heavily to the left field, but it's not showing that it's going to be more home runs, more runs. That people, I think, are just looking at the wind and they're thinking it's going to be a higher scoring game. I don't think so. I would look to play this under.
Yeah, so listen, David, he said you said they are regressing while on a 5-game win streak. Check the tape. No, I'm going to tell you exactly what the tape says. The first time I brought this up was when they played the Mets. Okay, so as of yesterday, they were 3-3 since that game. That is, this is a team that's 8 games over 500. So they've only played 500 ball. Then yes, they were, in my opinion, starting to regress because they were 8 games over 500 and they played 500 ball. Now, they won yesterday. If they turn around and win today and win tomorrow, then I'm going to be wrong about that. But what I'm saying is that's what I expect from them the rest of the season. And technically, that would be regression relative to what they've done so far this year. Like if they go on and play 500 ball the rest of the year, that's what I'm trying to say. They're still like 85 and 77. That's Brian. That's I can't see the Cardinals doing better than that is what I'm trying to say.
I think the word regression is based on how they're going to play. My statement would be they're being the advantages we had earlier in the season playing them, those numbers, we're not seeing them now. We're paying a premium right now.
Yes.
If you're looking to play the Cardinals. Now, granted, they won the last 2 days. There's no doubt about it those were the winning sides. But as we say all the time, we're not playing teams. We're playing numbers. And we want to get a certain number. If numbers didn't matter, we would play the Dodgers every single day because we know they're going to win more games than they lose. Unfortunately, the blinds maker knows that too. So you have to pick your spots. And it's like people have a team they love, people have a team they hate. I don't care what the teams are. I want to know, based on the value in the line, is this a good bet today? And that's what I've been doing for 45 years, and that's why I'm still here.
TB, let's get you in here. Is there a good bet in this game for you, Padres Cardinals?
My numbers are screaming at me that this is the best value bet on the board today. St. Louis Cardinals on the money line. And I don't believe my numbers, though, because, again, the Padres are my albatross. Every time I go against them, they win. Every time I bet with them, they dive. So, and Leahy's not the best pitcher in the world. He does have 24 at-bats against these batters with a 125 average against and a 458 OPS, which are stellar numbers. But his overall numbers this season are not good. It would be Cardinals or nothing for me, though, because Cardinals are batting number 4 in MLB in current form, while the Padres are batting 23. Bullpens are pretty equal. So, yeah, I mean, the Padres, if it's a bullpen game, their bullpen is pretty run-of-the-mill. I I even have the Cardinals a slight advantage there. I don't know why my numbers like the Cardinals so much today, and I probably won't bet it just because I don't like my heart doesn't like it, but my brain likes it. So I'll probably stay off it.
You could see some Griffin Canning here potentially as a bulk guy. I don't know exactly what the Padres are going to do, but I do know that if it gets to the later innings and I've got the Padres bullpen, I feel pretty good. Like if I get when they have their better bullpen guys, if I can get to the later innings with the Padres better bullpen guys, that's typically the side I would want to have. But yeah, a tricky game nonetheless. And listen, I'll come on here. I've definitely been wrong about the Cardinals, like because I said it maybe earlier than that. Like, tip the cap. They played unbelievable ball. They have a bunch of good young guys. If you subscribe to my service and you've been with me since last year, I wrote about a lot of these guys when they were at Memphis, and I've talked about Memphis all year. Memphis is in the mix that they're probably going to win the International League first half, which ends this week. With a lot of guys that like Blaze Jordan just got called up, like that organization has a ton of good young talent. So I wouldn't be that surprised if the Cardinals do win the 85, 86 games. They might be able to do it. And then I'd be wrong about that. Well, or even win 90 games and they shove it in my face. It wouldn't surprise me that much, but I do think the value is to fade them right now. And I'll leave it at that. And we'll leave you with a parlay. Like I said, Brian's red hot the last couple days. Check out what he's got going on his page. Double play package for the both of, for any of the two guys that you see on your screen right here. Big discount on the WagerTalk site. The parlay today is as follows. I'm going to go with the Pirates. Minus 120, I think, is probably fair right now. We'll go Marlins minus 103 for Brian. And then Tokyo Brandon's going Astros, Tigers, first 5, under 4.5. What do we decide? Like minus 120? What do you see in there, Brian?
120 last time we looked, yeah.
Really?
Minus 120.
Let me check it out again. First half. 4.5, anywhere from minus 110 to minus 115. Well, there is 120s out there, but
all right, we'll go minus 115.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
Okay.
And listen, free bird at the gun because you donated. I'm just gonna. He says, "Are the Cubs a great play today?" I don't think so. The Rockies have played so good against them, and the guy they're throwing out there, Sean Sullivan's good. He left his last start because he got sick. He didn't leave because he was dealing. Brian was at the game. Guy was cruising. He got sick.
Impressive. Yes.
His coach said he looked like death. That was his comment after the game. So again, I would not touch the Cubs. They're way overpriced relative to how they've played against the Rockies. Anyone want to just throw one quick comment out there? Cubs Rockies for Freebird.
I've got nothing on that one, but interesting game tonight in LA with Tampa Bay and LA going. I was hoping we'd be able to talk about this one. Running a little late, can't talk about them all, but keep in mind that Ohtani is not supposed to hit tonight.
I like
you got to just donate from your burner, Brian. Donate from your burner, and then we'll talk about it,
Yeah, Brian's wife's not in the comments today. I think the Cubs are the play here. I like Assad, and after being so listless yesterday and flaccid, I think they'll come out today. So I'm kind of against Adam. Adam can dress like me if the Cubs win.
Listen, I'm just saying, don't sleep on Sean Sullivan, former second rounder. Took him a little while in the minors, but he looked really good his last couple starts at Albuquerque, and he looked great in that game against the A's. And it was an illness is why he left the game. Like he was sick in his major league debut, was out there in his major league debut, sick as a dog, and still went and threw like 3 or 4 scoreless before they pulled him out. So I'm actually very interested to watch that game tonight. All right, one more time on the way out. 3-teamer as follows: Pirates minus 120, Marlins minus 103. Those are full game sides. And then Tokyo Brandon has a first 5 total. Astros, Tigers, first 5, under 4.5, minus 115. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.